Ethereum shows levels of resistance around the $2,100 level, but can Ethereum break towards all-time highs in the coming hours and days? In today's episode, we're going to look at the latest Ethereum news as well as Ethereum technical analysis to give you the latest update on Ethereum predictions. Hello and welcome to the House of Crypto. I make videos about Ethereum as well as other cryptocurrencies. So if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button to be kept up to date with all of the latest happening in Ethereum and other major cryptocurrencies. Without further ado then, let's jump into the first piece of Ethereum news. Okay, so Raoul Pal, who's been quite quiet for a while, has come out and spoken about Ethereum. Ethereum has outperformed Bitcoin by 250% since its inception. There's been a lot of flack recently towards Ethereum, saying that Ethereum has outlived its early hype and that since the 2017 bull run, it's down 77% and on a long-term decline. However, in response, Raoul Pal remarked, since the halving cycle started, it's up over 100% cold, hard fact. There's a lot of debate going on at the moment between a lot of big names in the cryptocurrency markets. However, Ethereum is still looking very positive, and we're going to cover a lot of Ethereum news today that's kind of going to make us feel still very comfortable about being Ethereum holders. So since Ethereum was launched onto the CME futures platform, it's been able to be invested in much more heavily by institutions, and this is further proof that that's continuing to happen. Meitu, which is a big company in Hong Kong, now holds $100 million in Bitcoin and Ether after latest Bitcoin purchase. It says here that during the past few months, Meitu racked up 90 million worth of cryptocurrency purchases, split between Bitcoin and Ether. Following Thursday's latest acquisition, the firm has now purchased $49.5 million worth of Bitcoin and significantly $50.5 million worth of Ethereum. So now institutions are starting to actually put more money into Ethereum than they are putting into Bitcoin. So that's a super exciting piece of news and shows that there's obviously a great deal of belief in the Ethereum platform. Companies like Deloitte have launched statements on DeFi, and now companies are actually starting to use DeFi significantly more. This gives more ground for Ethereum to gain value as well. Obviously, the NFT marketplace, much of which operates on the Ethereum blockchain, is also gaining steam. And later on in the video, I'm gonna mention a company that's new in the NFT space and is going to create an NFT marketplace. It's currently still in its initial coin offering stage, but it's super exciting what they've got on offer, and we're going to jump over to their website towards the end of this video. So as I mentioned, lots of companies are getting involved in DeFi, and this is Ethereum reasons to be cheerful over on CryptoDaily.com. DeFi is transforming finance, and most projects are running on Ethereum. Institutional interest in Ethereum futures are yet more reason to be upbeat about this future mainstay of the blockchain cryptocurrency space. Okay, as well, we want to notice as well, we need lots of volume in the market to be able to drive prices. At the moment, despite the gas fees being super high, Ethereum continues to transact huge daily trading volumes. 25 billion in daily transactions is 5 times as much as Binance Coin, which, as we can see on CoinGecko here, is the third biggest cryptocurrency market cap. Then we can consider, later on this year that we're going to be looking at burning gas fees and also Ethereum 2.0 reducing gas fees totally. You can just see the potential impact that's going to have on the trading volume and ultimately the Ethereum price. So this, when people are talking about $5,000, $6,000 Ethereum predictions by the end of the year, it starts to become more realistic when we think of the other things that are going to go on in the Ethereum space. Okay, coming over to CoinGate.com, Ethereum price forecast ETH bound for $2,500 despite the struggle in the sustaining uptrend. So, there's a lot of belief still that Ethereum is going to rally towards those higher highs, and we're going to look at some technical analysis soon, and we're going to talk about how that's likely to play out in the coming days and what's kind of stopping it getting there at the moment. At the moment, there's a lot of buying pressure at the lower levels around the $1,900.50 mark, which we saw yesterday as we took a bit of a drop down to that level. It quickly got bought up and we got pushed back above $2,000. If $2,000 falls again, then potentially we might see a further downside drop. However, the buying pressure is still there at the kind of slightly lower levels. What's keeping it from pushing through is actually above the $2,000 towards $2,100 level. There actually isn't such a significant level of buying volume coming in. Okay, and the last piece of Ethereum news before we jump into the charts and look at what is going on today with the Ethereum price. Over here on Cointelegraph, Ether price takes on Bitcoin. What's behind the sharp rise in demand? Breaking new all-time highs, the recent price action of Ether took the crypto market by storm and signaled an official start to alt season. Several analysts are predicting that Ether will surpass its previous all-time high of $2,130 and continue to outperform Bitcoin in the foreseeable future. Okay, price prediction aside, Ethereum is undeniably leading the charge in crypto, being home to flagship decentralized finance and non-fungible token projects. However, this move comes at a time when the network is at a major crossroads. What it means by at a major crossroad, obviously there's things, coming in for Ethereum in terms of gas fee burning, Ethereum 2.0, which I've already mentioned, and why these are so crucial if Ethereum is going to continue to maintain its true value. At the moment, Ethereum has a number of problems that we all know about in terms of the high gas fees, etc., which is another kind of factor that's probably holding the price back. But in my opinion, this is still very early in Ethereum. We've already had a huge rise to the upside, but in my belief, this year has way more to come in terms of Ethereum. So recently, obviously, we've had a bit of a dip, which may have shaken a few people out, but there's more and more people sort of starting to learn about Ethereum. The more coverage NFTs get, the more sort of decentralized finance is implemented into companies, then the more exposure Ethereum is going to get. So, it's only building momentum. It's a very exciting time, in my opinion, for Ethereum and Ethereum holders, to be precise. Right, without further ado, then let's jump over to the first charts today. So before we look at the Ethereum chart, what I'm going to look at is the Bitcoin chart. And the reason for that is, as we know, when Bitcoin moves, it tends to move the majority of the market with it. And Ethereum particularly has a price that's quite well linked to Bitcoin. And what we can see on the Bitcoin chart, this is on the 4-hour over on TradingView, is we've been in this sort of channel, this symmetrical or almost symmetrical channel for quite a period of time now, since back in sort of mid-March. Okay, and as you can see, we're literally in the position where we are looking like something is about to happen, okay? So as we see, once we get towards this part of the triangle, around sort of 75% of the way through, it tends to need to make a decision after the consolidation has been completed. And as we can see, we're moving up towards this line here at around $59,100. If we're to break through this and come back, as we normally would like to see, before pushing to the upside, then this is obviously going to be very great news for Ethereum as well. And I'm pretty confident that if we saw Bitcoin break this and break to all-time highs, that Ethereum would be very close behind. Now, obviously, until that breakout comes, there's always the chance that it might bounce back. So in terms of taking long trades, we always like to wait till it breaks out before comes back for a retest and then goes to the upside. Bitcoin looking particularly bullish right now, in my opinion. If we look down at the RSI, it's not looking too overbought, so it's looking quite good. If we can break through this level, what we'll also validate is this large head with a kind of a head and shoulders pattern. And this is not necessarily the most reliable bullish indicator, but this in conjunction with this line here is going to look very strong for Bitcoin if it can break this key resistance point here. So obviously Ethereum, as we can see, very similar to Bitcoin, is approaching key lines of resistance itself. We had a recent dip down to the downside, but we also broke this previous line of resistance at around 1950, and we flipped it back and turned it into support, which is very positive to see here. So there's clearly a very good amount of buying pressure at around the $1,950 level. We've also found very recently, over the last sort of 12 or so hours, this 50 moving average, we've managed to find good support there, and as you can see, it's continuing to rise there. We've got this sort of a double, almost like a double channel, where it broke initially out of this smaller triangle. However, it kind of appears to have formed into a bigger triangle. Now, what I would like to see is it might potentially continue up against this line here, and then again, much like Bitcoin, it would then need to see a break from here out before potentially testing to the upside. However, this is on the 4-hour. I think until Bitcoin makes that move and potentially breaks out to the upside, then Ethereum will probably be following along with it. So, moving into the weekend, we might not see this play out particularly quickly. However, in the past, we have seen very sharp moves where we could potentially break out within, a few hours. However, being that weekends tend to mean lower volume of trading, it does tend to be a bit slower. So we could potentially have to wait a little longer to see what's happened. At the moment, we're still validating this position where we were back on the 15th of February, around the 18th of February started, and then we broke out a couple of days ago back on the 2nd of April. And as you can see, we had the big retest, which we always talk about here. We came back up and we retested at this level of 1950, which is very solid to see. And then we've come all the way back up. And as we've predicted previously, the breakout from this particular pattern should take us all the way up to around something like $2,620. Okay, so this is still very much in play. It's just taking a little longer perhaps than we might have anticipated last week, but that's due to slightly smaller trading volumes around the higher levels. What I want to bring your attention to now is the DXY, which is the dollar index, and obviously when the dollar index is falling, cryptocurrency becomes a better place for people to keep their money in terms of a hedge against dollar inflation. And we have seen this this is on the 4-hour. We saw this big move back on the 17th of March, back up to the upside where we had a big rejection at around the $93 level. And as you can see, like recently, we came up and we've just been rejected at around this key level, which is clearly a very big level of resistance in the past. And if this can continue to break to the downside, which in my opinion we're going to see play out, however, this is also a falling wedge, which can tend to be a bit of a bullish pattern, then we're going to see much more movement to the upside in the crypto market if the DXY continues to struggle, in my opinion. Now, what I want to talk about just to finish up then is an ICO, which is ProStarter. It's currently going through its initial coin offering phases. It's fulfilled its first rounds. It was given 17 days to fulfill these rounds. However, within 4 days, they managed to sell out the first 2 allocations, which is, very positive in my opinion. In fact, round 2 has started yesterday and again has already been fulfilled at this level. So starting next week, round 3 at a price of 25 cents, which is still very cheap in my opinion, given that on May the 10th they're going to launch into Uniswap, and many people are of the belief that they could potentially hit $1. Obviously, disclaimer, you can always lose money investing. Investing is risky, so always go and do your own research. Previously, people have been checking out this website, but they've been doing a great deal of work recently. They've been featured on Bloomberg, as well as Yahoo Finance and News BTC. If we look at their roadmap, they've already fulfilled Q1 2021 plans and are nearly finished on the 2021 Q2 plans, waiting to introduce their launchpad, which should happen relatively soon. If we come over to the NFT marketplace, which is going to launch towards the end of the year, it's going to be a great NFT marketplace for NFT artists to be able to sell their work through a decentralized, secure platform and to earn tokens and rewards in ProStarter. ProStarter is sort of deflationary, so they are burning tokens as they go. It's only quite a small amount of tokens available, something like 100 million tokens available. So actually, by burning the tokens as well, you can see that potentially there's a great opportunity here in the long term. ProStarter is coming out with Pro King, something rewarding and exciting for our community. In order to be a Pro King, you would have to hold a specific amount of proc tokens set by the platform, but this guarantees you, an allocation, getting extra allocations when they do IDOs, as well as direct allocations. All kings will have a share in the direct allocation of tokens given by our collaborations. And it will also give you a governance vote. So if you've already come across things like Zilliqa, which uses GZIL, as well as VeChain with V4, you understand what governance tokens and governance votes and why they're such significant things. Okay, so I'll leave a link in the description for ProStarter, so you can go over there, check out the white paper, which is here to see. All of the details here. You can also go and check the news articles over on Bloomberg, as well as Yahoo Finance, etc. So yeah, really exciting opportunity there. Still very cheap in my opinion. It's going to launch very soon, and great opportunity to get involved before it gets launched onto Uniswap. And as you know, when tokens hit exchanges, they tend to see massive price surges. Guys, thanks very much for watching today. Hope you enjoyed today's content. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, as it really helps the YouTube algorithm. And if you haven't already subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button to be kept up to date with all of the latest Ethereum news and technical analysis, as well as ICO tips and other cryptocurrency market tips. Thanks very much for watching, and I will see you again in the next video. Thank you. Bye-bye.